Following for you here on MSNBC from the U.S. Supreme Court. Live pictures right there where we've received these two landmark decisions today on DOMA and Prop 8. DOMA deemed unconstitutional. Prop 8 is dead. Joining me now, the two other plaintiffs in the Prop 8 case, Paul Katami and Jeff Zarillo. On set here, I have Rachel Maddow, who has agreed to stick around with me. Gentlemen, we just watched you all together there with President Obama calling from Air Force One on an iPhone. That doesn't happen every day. So how are you feeling about what just happened from the U.S. Supreme Court, but moreover, what it means for the two of you when you go back to California?
Well, we felt great, and that call was amazing. Unfortunately, the call came in as blocked, so I don't have the number to return the call. But today felt amazing, not only with our decision, but with the Windsor decision, listening to Justice Kennedy's eloquent words, talking about how important equality and equal dignity and fairness is to all gay and lesbian couples, and then listening to the Chief read about our decision and how you just can't come into court with, when you don't have standing and argue just because you disagree with something, you disagree with someone's lifestyle. So we're really excited. We're really stoked to get back to California and celebrate, and also to get married. I don't know if you heard that he proposed to me on national TV.
I did. I heard that. But Paul, were you prepared to maybe not make that proposal today, psychologically, emotionally, if the court had gone in a different direction?
You know, we were prepared for everything, but I think deep in our hearts we knew the root of all of this was equality. And we stood in a building where it says equal justice under the law. And that always gave us a sense of optimism and pride that we would be able to have a victorious day today. I mean, we're not forgetting that we're lucky to be where we are, and we're lucky to be in California. There's a lot more work to be done, and we hope that very soon every other couple like Jeff and I across the country can feel the same way.
Paul and Jeff, this is Rachel Maddow. I got to say congratulations on this case. And your decision to be part of it, your decision to help fight this out. Why did you know, why did you believe that your relationship was the right one to be on the masthead here? Why did you guys decide to be plaintiffs, knowing all the pressure and the time commitment that it would mean from you as individuals and as a couple to fight this fight on so many other people's behalf?
It was just too important not to. In 2008, when we elected the first African-American president, it was a glorious day. But later that night, it was a horrible night when the returns for Prop 8 came in, saying that we were going to be treated as second-class citizens. And we just could not fathom being treated like that anymore. And thanks to the National Organization on Marriage for putting out a very discriminatory ad filled with lies and misrepresentations that we saw, and we stood up, and Paul stood up off the couch and said, that's it, we got to do something.
I mean, once in a while in your life, something happens where there is no option. The option is only to move forward. You have to work with what you have to progress, and the damage of being prohibited, the language of marriage and the rights of marriage was so overwhelming. And after Prop 8 passed, it just kind of welled up inside of us that we had never even talked about it to each other. We knew we wanted to get married, but we just assumed that we would never have the right. And so after Prop 8, it really turned our anger into action, and we were able to take that forward, and we were happy and proud and lucky to be a part of this case.
Jeff, I have to ask a clarifying question. We all heard Paul very clearly ask you to marry him, and you responded, as best as we could tell, by turning around and smooching him. But we didn't actually hear an affirmative yes or maybe or I'll think about it. I don't know if you wanted to clarify that for the record.
I will clarify with a resounding yes.
All right.
Excellent. Better. Gentlemen, thanks so much. I want to ask you all to stand by because we have the president of the HRC, Chad Griffin, also known as the man with the iPhone, that has President Obama on the other end from Air Force One. Chad, this is certainly an historic day, not only for the Human Rights Campaign and the work that you've been doing, but for what you started in taking on the fight with Prop 8. A lot of people might not recognize the fact that you were the one that helped spearhead the legal challenges to that. What does today mean to you?
You know, today, all I can think of is that young person today in Fresno, California, or Bakersfield, California, who is reading tweets or watching online or on television and seeing this historic decision today, seeing Proposition 8 and DOMA fall and crumble, quite frankly. These two discriminatory pieces of legislation were really the symbols of discrimination in this country. And to see them fall in the way that they did today advances us forward greatly and says to that young person in Fresno or Bakersfield that they too are equal. They aren't second-class citizens anymore in California. But it also says to that young person in Hope, Arkansas, or, still in Altoona, Pennsylvania, that marriage equality is coming to them very soon. And we will fight like we've never fought before to ensure that this victory reaches all 50 states in this country.
Chad, this is Rachel Maddow in New York. Thank you so much
Rachel.
for this, and congratulations on this hard-fought battle. I wonder if the way this has gone thus far, the way these arguments played out all the way up the legal chain, all the way to the Supreme Court today, gave you any strategic insight into how to persuade more people who disagree with this decision. I mean, thinking about Altoona, Pennsylvania, thinking about Arkansas, thinking about places, the majority of states in this country that still have an overt ban on recognizing same-sex relationships. Did you learn anything in this process about how to win those people over to your side, or is this are we in a difficult position now where they just have to accept defeat?
No, there is no question, Rachel. I'm one who believes that everyone evolves. If you talk to folks in the language that they speak, and you speak to folks with a personal story. You know, Harvey Milk said it so long ago, it may have taken us too long to realize it. But if we come out, and we come out in our workplaces, and we acknowledge who we are, and then we come out at our places in our communities, in our churches, in our schools, then ultimately our neighbors, our friends, our allies come along with us, because when you know us, you don't want to discriminate against us. And I have to say, I think one of the great legacies of this case is the pairing of Ted Olson, someone from the conservative right, with David Boies, a prominent Democratic attorney from the left. By putting them together, it allowed us to lift the partisan veil from which we've always discussed this issue, and to finally shine the spotlight on the human faces, the faces of our plaintiffs, of their kids, and of the thousands upon thousands of Americans that are situated just like them. And I think that's our lesson. Keep telling our stories. And we don't write off anyone. Even Governor Wallace evolved at the end. So too, I believe, will the rest of this country.
Chad Griffin, thanks so much. Chad, we understand you're going to be flying back to California. There's a party tonight, correct?
This entire team is on our way to California to celebrate tonight. And tomorrow morning, I wake up and fly to Salt Lake City, Utah, to a red state.
All right, and Jeff and Paul, we understand you're going to be on your way back to California as well with the other plaintiffs in the case, Sandy and Chris. But thank you all for the hard work, the time that you've invested in this. And we do want to know wedding date details, because now you're on the hook. You've said it on national television. So we
I'll hold them to it.